Hello and welcome to On the Couch with Steve, a podcast where we help you navigate the buying and selling of the real estate world. Now, I'm not Steve Athanates, I'm Kira, and I'm sitting in for Steve, so I'm be your far prettier version today. We're talking about the market wrap for September 2023, and I'm joined today with Matt Drayton. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's have a chat about how we went in September. So what did the buying and selling market look like for you guys?
So September, yet again, quite a strong month. Plenty of buyers, not as many sellers, but definitely plenty of buyers getting around. Yep. So last month we sold a total of 51 properties, coming to a value of $32.4 million. So yeah, real strong month again.
That's amazing. So Matt, how many properties did you list for the month of September?
Month of September, really strong listing month. We listed 62 properties in total.
Oh, that's incredible.
So yeah, definitely an increase on the months before. Still not that massive influx that I think a lot of people were sort of expecting. Yeah. But still quite a strong listing month. Yeah.
And is that to do with the fact that people are still, pretty confident about the fact that we're not increasing in interest rates? We're still sort of holding steady?
I think so, yeah. A lot of the talk on the town is, no one knows for sure if the rates are going to keep going up or not. I think the opinion for most people is that we're getting pretty close to the top, so I think it has brought a lot of that confidence back into the market that was sort of lost.
That's good.
So, yeah.
No, that's amazing. So, in terms of the types of properties that are being listed and sold at the moment, is there anything in particular that people are buying and going after?
I don't know that I'd say there's a particular style of property. Anything that's essentially well presented, hasn't got long-term tenants unless it's an investor buying it. But anything that presents well, it's in a good location, it's not drastically overpriced. Yeah. Any of those properties really, regardless of style, are getting quite a lot of interest and selling quite quickly.
Amazing. So is there a hot area that we should be keeping our eye on at the moment, like a particular suburb?
I think all suburbs in general are sort of, particularly in the Ipswich market, looked at as quite good value. Yeah. Anything that is, quite close to the Ipswich CBD regions, any of those sort of inner city type suburbs, they're always naturally going to be quite highly desired. But again, just any of your good suburbs that are close to town and close to amenities, that's really what people are looking for.
Perfect. So if you've got somebody watching this podcast today who's thinking about selling their property, what would you say to them if they're thinking about doing that sort of stuff?
Presentation is key. When you do go to sell, obviously you want to make sure you choose a good agent, but ultimately presentation is going to be the big thing. People can look past your furniture and the style of furniture and the way you've got the layout of the property, but ultimately as long as you can see that there's no major work that needs doing, unless it is literally a fixer-upper, but just presentation really seems to be the recurring theme here. Anything that's presented well is going to sell quite quickly.
Amazing. So we talked about the buying and selling market, but let's talk about the rental market. Yes. How are we going with rentals at the moment?
So it is still a bit of a tricky market if you are a tenant looking for a property. Now it is definitely easier than it was even a couple of months ago. There is a bit more stock on the market. We're not getting bowled over with the same masses of people coming to all the inspections. Yeah. So don't get me wrong, it is still fairly competitive, but for the most part it is definitely a lot easier than it was comparing it to say 12 months ago. Yeah. So yeah, it's still competitive, but a little bit easier for people.
That's great. So a little bit of extra stock has gone a long way to helping that sort of stuff. So what about the type of property? Are we still getting a lot of influx from families looking for properties?
There are still a lot of families. I think most of the time the families are going to be the biggest sort of market for your rentals. A lot of young couples getting around as well, particularly the young people that can't quite afford to get into the market from a buying perspective just yet. So there are a lot of people sort of pulling their money together, and whether it's groups of friends all sort of living under the same roof, all that sort of thing. So you do see a little bit of that. I would say predominantly it is mostly families, but again quite a broad range of people really. Yeah. Lovely.
So if you've got an investor who's not quite sure if they're talking to the right agent, what would you suggest that they do?
Come talk to us at NGU Real Estate Ipswich.
Pretty simple. That's amazing. So is there anything else that we should probably know about the September month, or is that pretty much it?
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, really. Good month in terms of sales. Plenty of stock to go around at the moment. Still plenty of buyers getting around. But if you want to sell, make sure your house is presented well. And if you want to buy, just make sure you're organised. Make sure you're pre-approved.
Yep.
That's really all there is to it at the moment. Yeah.
Amazing. And make sure you get yourself an approval from NGU Real Estate Ipswich. Thanks for tuning in. To hear more and see more with On the Couch with Steve, make sure that you subscribe below. Special thanks to Matt Drayton for joining me today to talk about the September wrap with NGU Real Estate Ipswich. If you have an opinion about the September month in real estate, share your thoughts on our socials and stay tuned for more with On the Couch with Steve.